If today was serious, it would be Friday by now. Nevertheless, it is a Wednesday and you are watching Smell the Coffee with Diana Master and Glenora Shipura. Girl, I done missed you.
I've missed you so much.
Like, where have you been?
I know.
Twin.
We've just not, I know, right? To
Where
the blue.
have you been?
The blue as well.
You're
know what I
supposed
mean?
to sing the song.
Okay, sing the song.
Twin.
Twin.
Where have you been?
Where have you
No,
been?
Glenora,
I have been at home.
You're making me angry.
I'm sorry, I suck at improv, guys.
You don't know that song?
No, I don't know the song.
Nobody knows me.
Oh! I actually still don't know the song. I've heard it on TikTok, but I really do not know the song. I get it. It's not very demure of me, not very mindful.
Not very cutesy.
Not very cutesy of me.
Not
but
cutesy at all.
Not cutesy at all.
But
I
anyway,
don't
for
know the
realsies.
song. For realsies.
I missed you.
And we did a proper hang. I know that we're going to do a lot of social events together, which is still hanging out, but it's not the same as you and I hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this and...
Like just being us in our own element.
Exactly.
Without having to speak over music or anything like
Yes.
that. Yeah. Or having
and
other
people
obligations.
there.
Yeah.
And I feel like people also need to, you know, quality time is not the same as spending time together, because we will be hanging out, but it will be in like spaces where somebody will probably get my attention and your attention, and we won't get that quality time that we so badly
I'm coming
need
for a sleepover at your place.
and deserve.
I'm
and
coming for a
deserve.
sleepover.
I should come for a sleepover at your
No,
place.
I'm trying to
actually.
run away. I'm
Oh.
trying to run away.
Why?
I just
We
need a break.
From home.
From home. I just need, like, I already told my mom, I was like, the minute you get here, I'm like, just for like a day, I
don't want to be in the
like,
space anymore. Really?
For a day, I just need to, you know, like,
I was thinking it's so cool to come to your place. We get like snacks
and do like a movie night.
and do like a movie night, or I don't know, anything else fun. Like,
Anything
we can even
else.
do like makeup and whatnot.
Like
and
a
just
proper
play around.
sleepover.
Yeah,
We put on
play
our
around with, like,
pajamas.
different outfits, like, you know, proper
Cutesy
stuff. Cutesy stuff.
Cutesy girly stuff.
Yes, exactly.
We have wine.
We have wine.
We have strawberries and chocolate. Yes,
guys,
yes. Chocolate covered strawberries.
Take care of your soul as a woman, and also look for your sisters.
Yes.
And keep them around you. You know, somebody said you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Oh.
And most of the time, we're not spending time with the people that we love and care for.
I'm spending time with myself.
Yeah, and also you're just either with colleagues or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to be very intentional in the energy that I bring into my time and my space. So if I have to be alone, I'd rather be that than be in the wrong company.
True. And, you know, this is why people tend to find it difficult to differentiate between colleagues and friends.
Yes.
Because you spend majority of your
and
time
friends,
with your
yes.
colleagues.
But
you
they're
understand?
not your friends.
But they're not your friends. So me seeing you 5 times a week for 8 hours a day doesn't necessarily mean that you're my friend.
Exactly.
You're a colleague or you're an acquaintance, and I think people need to learn to draw those lines and differentiate.
And those boundaries as well.
And because sure, we may see each other for 8 hours a day and 5 times a week.
But is your influence even really good for me?
Is it good for me? Am I comfortable enough
Do I
to
like
tell
to
you?
gossip every day?
Yes.
Do
Am I
like
comfortable
to hear
enough
complaining
to
and what, whining about whatever? I don't like that, and I don't like that it's in my psyche or
even just being comfortable enough. Like if I have a problem, can I come to Glenora Fully and be like, Glenn, I have this problem. Can you please give me like $300 without you going like.
So Diana likes to borrow money.
You see,
It's
things like that. So you
Yeah.
need to understand who your friends are, who your acquaintances are, who your colleagues are. You need to make that differentiation to spare yourself some heartache.
I think so too. And guys, it's okay to be by yourself at times.
Honestly, being by yourself is the best. I love
Take
being by
yourself
myself.
out for lunch alone. You
Go
won't
for a
die.
solo date.
Yeah.
Do a solo date.
Yes.
Yeah, like normalize glamorizing your life. Glamorize your life.
I'm at that.
Yeah,
I'm in
romanticize your
that.
life.
I think I'm in that era where I'm just so in love with me and everything
Yes,
about.
and everything about me. I
And-
love me. I love my company.
Yes, I'm like, you know, there's single and then there's single me, which is like single plus. You know what I mean?
Single plus.
Yes, you know, super single. And
Super single.
I'm so in love with it. I'm at a space where I'm just so in love with it.
And so at peace. But
And
yeah.
so at peace, yeah.
I think that's our Woman Crush Wednesday word of the day. WWOD? OTD?
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
whatever it
exactly.
is. I don't know, man. But anyway, we'll be right back with some interesting stories when we come back. All right, getting into the first of our top stories, Miley Cyrus sued over flowers and is accused of copying Bruno Mars's song. Yes. Miley Cyrus has been hit with a new lawsuit alleging she and her fellow songwriters copied portions of a Bruno Mars single when they wrote her Grammy-winning banger, Flowers. In a new lawsuit filed on Monday, in Los Angeles federal court, a company called Temple Music Investments claimed Flowers includes unauthorized exploitation of several elements of Mars's 2013 Hot 100 charting song, When I Was Your Man. The suit also named Sony Music Publishing, Apple, Target, Walmart, and several other companies as defendants accused of distributing Flowers. Temple Music said that it owns a portion of U.S. copyrights to When I Was Your Man after acquiring it from Philip Lawrence, who co-wrote the song alongside Mars, Ari Levine, and Andrew Wyatt. Mars is not named as a plaintiff in the suit. Any fan of Bruno Mars's When I Was Your Man knows that Miley Cyrus's Flowers did not achieve all that success on its own. Flowers duplicates numerous melodic, harmonic, and lyrical elements of When I Was Your Man, including the melodic pitch, design, and sequence of the verse, the connecting bass line, certain bars of the chorus, certain theatrical music elements, lyric elements, and specific chord progressions. The lawsuit obtained by Rolling Stone claimed it is undeniable based on the combination and number of similarities between the two recordings that Flowers would not exist without When I Was Your Man. The complaint, which names Cyrus's fellow songwriters Gregory Hain and Michael Pollack as co-defendants, continued. With Flowers, Cyrus Hain and Pollack have created a derivative work of When I Was Your Man without authorization. In February, Cyrus won her first Grammy for Flowers, a track from her 8th album, Endless Summer Vacation. The hit song, which held its #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for 8 weeks, was written after her divorce from actor Liam Hemsworth and was largely seen as a declaration of independence. Temple Music is seeking damages in an amount to be determined at trial. It is also demanding a court order prohibiting Cyrus and other defendants from reproducing, distributing, or publicly performing Flowers.
Guys, honestly speaking, I thought they were talking about a song that's not yet released of Bruno Mars. Do you get what I'm saying? But then if they're talking about When I Was Your Man, I know there's a line about I used to buy you flowers.
Because, okay, so in When I Was Your Man, it's, I hope he buys you flowers, I hope he holds your hand, takes you to, that, we all know that song.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, those are the lines, actually.
And then so this is what happened. When Miley Cyrus wrote Flowers, right? Apparently Liam Hemsworth had dedicated Flowers When I Was Your Man to her. Which is why when she was saying, I can buy myself flowers, it's like a jab at Liam. Like, no, I don't need your flowers. Take myself dancing. So it was basically in response to Bruno Mars's song.
And also, guys, there is nothing wrong. Somebody said originality is overrated in terms of like everything under the sun has almost been written about, sang about. Exactly. But authenticity is a different element.
Yes.
So I can be inspired by your song, Diana, or your poem. And then I write something else based on my experience. But I am inspired by you.
Me, yeah.
And that is fine.
And the fact is,
I think that they're pushing here. Like
they're pushing it. And also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bruno Mars might be credited on Flowers, if I'm not mistaken. I speak under correction. Because she knew.
Inspired this. Yeah.
She knew also that this is, because people always find something to say. Like, people are always looking for.
And she's been open about it.
She's been open about it.
This is because he dedicated this song to me, and this is just me telling him.
It's a declaration of my independence.
I can buy myself. Yes,
Flowers.
exactly.
And it's such a banger.
It is.
Because even you can't even say that it sounds the same, because When I Was Your Man is more like a slow contemporary song.
And the
Flowers is
other
more
one
like
is
an upbeat tune.
exactly. Maybe they're trying to say because that uptown funk vibe that Flowers has is something that Bruno Mars is known for. But at the same time, I have to say, Miley has reinvented her sound over the years, and she did other songs with a similar tone and sound to it before this song came out. That's why when you first read the story, I thought it was an unreleased song of
And you know, even
Bruno
on TikTok and Instagram, when Flowers was first released, everyone was jamming to it. Like they would even put, I should have bought you flowers, and then I can buy myself flowers.
Exactly, yes,
you know,
they
it was
used
like,
to connect it.
yeah.
They used to connect the two.
And people used to make like, they made it like a cute little trend. So I was like, this is fun.
That's what I'm saying, guys.
Y'all just looking for something where there's
I
nothing.
know. I don't know if Bruno Mars himself is really part of this.
No, he's not.
Or is it just a
He's
production
not.
company?
So apparently
the
what
music-
happens in Hollywood is, right, I write my song, Yabana. You know that whole thing where they say that Glenora bought Diana's catalog or whatnot. So I think it's similar in this case, where there's a company that owns a small portion. They own a small portion of When I Was Your Man. So now they're like, but since we own it partially.
Let's just take you to court for nonsense.
Anyway, let's move on. We'll speak about this.
Moving on. Speaking still on the creative front, and I actually want to hear people's opinion on this story. Kim Porter's memoir is #1 on Amazon. Its author can't say it's real. The man behind the publication of a memoir purported to be from Sean Combs' ex-partner Kim Porter tells the Rolling Stone that he can't guarantee the book's authenticity after he claims to have received a flash drive containing the book from 2 music industry sources, but insists that he believes it to be true. The 59-page book titled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, was self-published on Amazon earlier this month, tracing Porter's alleged tumultuous relationship with Sean Diddy Combs before her sudden death from pneumonia in 2018. Now, its numerous typos, factual inaccuracies, and incredulous claims involving high-profile names made little traction upon its release. But after Combs' arrest on sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges, sales have skyrocketed. The $22 book is currently Amazon's #1 bestseller, outperforming new releases from Sally Rooney, Nicholas Sparks, Hillary Clinton, and Ina Garten. Amazon calculates its bestseller list through sales volume data and customer activity of a book relative to the activity of the other books. Now, the alleged memoir's sexually explicit allegations have been widely circulating on social media amid rampant speculation, misinformation, and memes surrounding Combs and his looming criminal trial. Porter's family members and friends have insisted that the memoir is fake and is filled with fabricated nonsense and offensive pages. According to Porter's ex-partner Al B, the singer-songwriter who shares son Quincy Brown with the late model, said there will be a significant suit headed right for the heads of the responsible parties who dragged my name into this nonsense. Porter's best friend Kimora Lee Simmons and Luanda Lane tells Rolling Stone in a joint statement that they don't know the author at all. Lane adds that every page in that book is false, saying that Porter was not working on any kind of memoir before her death. She would never, Lane says. Now, she was extremely private, she says. Now, close friend Ebony Electra called the book blatant lies on Instagram as portions of the unauthorized work began circulating online in July. A man by the name of Crest Todd, real name Todd Christopher Goose, according to records, is behind the book. He describes himself as a producer, author, and investigative journalist, and claims to have worked on and solved some of pop culture's biggest murder investigations, including Nicole Brown Simpson, John Bennett Ramsey, and the Zodiac Killer, among others. He also claims to have evidence that Kurt Cobain's suicide was actually a murder.
Oh.
Todd published the memoir under the pseudonym Jamal T. Millward, a reference to a conspiracy theory that Tupac Shakur's 1996 murder was faked and he is living under that alias. Now, according to Todd, the alleged memoir wound up in hands shortly after Cassandra Casey Ventura filed her detailed sex trafficking and sexual abuse lawsuit against Combs last November. Two people allegedly close to Combs and Porter contacted Todd about the memoir, he says.
Okay, so like,
is this somebody who's capitalizing?
Listen, Hollywood likes to capitalize. Yesterday we were talking about the Menendez brothers' series and how Ryan Murphy never actually spoke to the Menendez brothers and got their side of the story. He claims he used the trials and whatever that was public information and a public record. But Hollywood and people in Hollywood like to monetize off of other people's stories and other people's trauma.
We have been hearing about the book. You get what I'm saying? We've been hearing about it. But other people as well that was not included in the article have come out and said that she was writing a book. But that's not how she sounds, first of all.
Okay.
And that's not her book. There is a book she was writing, but that's not how she sounds.
Remember when Princess Diana died and she basically predicted her death in a way, and she was writing a book and people didn't know. Only later on did this book come out and everyone was like, oh, well, she was writing a book. What if Kim Porter was like that? What if she was just being secretive and she didn't want because she knew the kind of man that Diddy was? This is, again, hypothetically.
Exactly.
Let's say she knew the type of power that and the influence that Diddy had, so she had to be super secretive to a point where she can't even tell her closest friends. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's plausible.
Yeah, but I don't believe this book that's out
is
hers. If there is one, there's another person who came out that if there is a book, no, he said there was a book that she was writing, but it's most likely in the hands of the feds as evidence.
I see.
Against Sean Diddy Combs. It's not out to the public.
Okay.
So it's not something, and also apparently Kim Porter was very smart, so she would never sound like that.
Okay, but we are running out of time, so let's get into our interview segment right after this. Today on Smell the Coffee, we are embracing nakedness. Not quite literally, but we do have Salima Hainock, who's the author of My Nakedness. First of all, congratulations on the launch of your book.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what inspired the title and what it represents for you?
So the book will only be launched on the 10th of October. We haven't launched it yet.
Okay.
But what inspired My Nakedness is, it's quite weird. I remember when my mentor was asking me, why are you going with My Nakedness?
Yeah.
I was like, I felt like naked because I'm sharing my story.
Yes,
like
you're laying it all bare.
Exactly. And people are going to see my thoughts. I mean, just by reading it, just understand how I reason, understand my fears, my strength. And in a way, I felt like I was just being naked and people are like, I'm shy in a way, but I'm putting myself out there. But at the end of the day, I felt like it's also a way of just allowing others to be inspired by my story, because we learn sometimes also from other people's experiences.
Very true. I like the fact that you did say that it feels like you're getting naked, because a lot of the times we put on these different masks and these different clothes just to mask who we truly are.
That's a
so I
good
think
one.
by stripping yourself naked, it's like, this is me, this is who
exactly.
I am. So what is the central theme or message of My Nakedness, and what do you hope readers will take away from it?
So my nakedness basically just aims to inspire others by just in a way just putting out my story there. I inspire to allow others just to learn from my experiences, pick up one or two things, you know, and also just see how I navigated from my childhood going into my teenage years, struggling with, of course, bullying, suicide thoughts, and also just, because the whole process started as a way of just channeling my feelings when I was going through a dark period in my life. Then I saw that it was coming into form, and then I said, maybe I can just share it. Maybe somebody else might learn from this, my experiences, and pick up one or two things.
Very true. I like the fact that, you know, you're saying people can take from your story, because a lot of the times when something traumatic happens to us, we don't want to let people know.
Of course.
And people suffer in silence. So it's good that your book is also inspiring others to step forward and to face those truths and those sides of themselves. So, of course, it's a self-published book. And self-publishing is a daunting process.
You can say that again.
Yeah? So what challenges did you face? And, of course, how did you navigate the journey of getting your book out there?
Yeah. So I was trying to see if I can get somebody to publish the book. Of course, you do research, you find out. And it's a bit difficult because in terms of literature and also just a creative industry in general and support, when it comes to support all those two industries, it's a challenge in Namibia in itself. So it was difficult to find people. Most of the people that I found that published their books, they did it themselves. It's a self-publishing process. So they were able to guide me in how to do it.
I see.
And I think it was much more easier. It was a process because there are certain things that you need to get. You need to go to BIPA, you need to go to the library to get, that thing that comes at the back of the book, the ISBN, I believe, yes, that number. So it's a whole process in itself, and then it needs to go through editing. You need to send it to proofreading. So it's a whole process in itself that took me 3 years or so. I could have done it earlier, but I was just, I'll go back, and then a month will pass, and then I'll go back. So I took my time with it, but I would have been done with it earlier. But it was, like I said, a thing of channeling my feelings at the end of the day.
I see.
Yeah.
So how has writing My Nakedness helped you explore and express your personal experiences? Was the writing process cathartic for you?
It was actually, because in a way, like I said, it was a thing of just channeling my feelings when I was going through a dark moment. And as I write, it was kind of like a form of healing for me. And the fact that I'm putting out my story out there, it's kind of like I'm telling you who I am. And like we said earlier, that it's like I'm laying bare myself out there.
You're naked.
In my nakedness, exactly. So it's an inspiration in itself, and like I said, I'm nervous, but I'm excited at the same time because it was a healing process for me.
What are you nervous about?
I'm nervous about people knowing about, my fears, of course, how I think, how I navigate through life, how I am able to overcome certain things. But I'm also excited again because I believe that one or two people can pick up things that they can learn from it, and also just see how they can navigate through the challenges that they are facing as well.
Okay. All right. So your book touches on themes that many may find intimate and vulnerable.
Yeah.
How did you find the courage to open up and share your truth with the world?
I don't even know where that courage came from, but I believe in authentic stories.
Yes.
So in a way that we don't really get to see much of authentic stories, Namibian stories. You find people telling about, how to become what, how to, your career path, how to, navigate through your career and so, but nobody really talks about the, being authentic about how they overcome challenges, how, and this is everyday life things that we are faced with, whether, teenagers or in your adulthood or in your career. So I'm sharing all of that in the book, and in a way I just feel like it's something that can inspire someone out there.
The authenticity?
Of course.
Okay, so already you did say that the book has not been published yet, but have you been doing any promo or anything like that? And what has the response been so far?
Yeah, it is quite interesting. Because I started with a promo where I did a video of like a movie in itself, where I was in a church and then I opened the door and I'm like, light comes in. It's like, this is new me. Because you remember this process?
The rebirth.
Exactly. It talks about my childhood, the process of getting married, at an early age, and also just divorcing as well. So those processes where I was faced with a lot of challenges, but in a sense, people were welcoming because you already in putting it on social media and just giving a brief on what the book is all about, and people were like, "Wow, I didn't even know that you were divorced."
Yeah.
And I remember somebody saying that, "What do you have to tell? You are only." Okay, I turned 36 this year.
Oh, very young.
I do not look 36.
No, you
anyway.
don't. No, you don't.
Of course.
Still sweet 16.
Exactly. So it was the thing of, what do you have to tell? Don't you want to wait until you are 50 or so? to tell your story. And then I remember I was giving a speech at the school one day, and I was saying to these young ones that it doesn't matter how young you are, you have a story to tell.
Exactly.
Everyone has a story to
Very
tell, no matter
true.
how little it might be.
Very
So in
true.
a sense that the response has been great. I just hope that people will turn up at the book launch, because the book launch in itself is a celebration of authentic stories, because we have other Namibian authors. We have also Dr. Lisho, who's the Deputy Executive Director at the Ministry of Higher Education, to just launch the book. And also just a celebration, like I said, of authentic stories. Rashiyama will also come and perform. There's a song that he Inotila that is so, it touches my heart. That's why I wanted him to come and perform, because it kind of like talks about the challenge, everyday life challenges that we are faced with. So the response has been great.
I see.
Yeah,
All right.
and everybody's looking forward to buying the
To
book.
buying the book. All right, okay, we'll get to the book launch, but since you brought it up anyway,
Yeah.
where is it? When is it?
Yeah, so the book will be launched at the National Library Courtyard,
Okay.
National Library of Namibia, and that is on the 10th of October. It's a Thursday evening, starting at 6:30. It's a glam affair. Yeah.
We're gonna dress
So,
up and
yes,
show up.
exactly. So I'm looking forward to it. The planning itself, the process of planning itself has also been challenging, because you are approaching several people to come on board in terms of sponsoring. Like I said, literature and creative industry sponsoring in this country is a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Exactly, but I'm just gonna make use the resources I have to make it happen, because it has been a journey getting here.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. So, of course, the whole book holds special meaning to you. But I want to find out from you, is there a particular chapter that even as you were writing it, you're like, or
this one.
it holds
Yeah.
even more special meaning to you?
Yeah.
Is there a particular chapter in the book?
I think it's a thing of, I remember when I was shooting the video, I said I opened the door and then light came in. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't say there's like a specific one that I so inspire. I mean that I love, but perhaps I can specifically say the one where I speak about my childhood and how I got to discover a relationship with God. I'm talking about because we grew up in object poverty in Rehoboth, Blocky. I was born and raised in Rehoboth, Blocky, Blakkiesdorp. I like to say, when I say I'm from Rehoboth, I specifically say Blocky, Blakkiesdorp. It's an informal settlement in Rehoboth. So it was a challenging process in itself, because we were mocked for being poor, and it was because we didn't have much. My father lost his job when I was very young, probably going to primary school, so he never got a stable job. So my mom, we help my mom sell kapana so that we can just have something. So it was a challenge for me. I remember one day.
And that's a wrap for today's show. We'll catch you again tomorrow, same time, same place.